So it's actually daylight, even though you can't tell because the lighting is so bad. That's one thing, and the camera that I need to do something about. Got pretty much everything else ordered. I've got every device possible that would need to be used for streaming. I've got a new microphone, but I've still got this terrible laptop camera. So today I thought I better film something about getting 50 subscribers on YouTube. Remonetization is just around the corner, right? That's what I'm on now. It's taken 10 years to get to 51, but I do get lots of views, and I get lots of views on things like Imperator Rome, Final Fantasy 12, Miracle Warriors, Dynasty Warriors too. But yeah, so that's where my views go. I've definitely beaten last year's views and minutes watched, so that's really great. We're in the middle of November now. I've matched my number of new subscribers this year, which is a massive 13. Wow. That means like in in 10 years, most of them have come in the last 2 years. Hopefully we get a couple more before the end of the year. That means I've got a yearly record. Well, hey, just a bit of a progress update really. You might have noticed, if anyone recognises my living room, I've got a new setup. I've got some new basically bookcases from, no, it's not IKEA, not like the rest of them. No, it's not IKEA, it's Aldi. They weren't like dead cheap, they were like £45 a pop, but I looked at them and thought, hey, there's like 6 squares, and then there's like an upper part which is like what would have been 9 squares, but they just didn't bother putting a divider in it. Actually, that works really well for me. So my current setup here is just basically all the consoles I had before. So I've got TurboGrafx, I've got Super Nintendo, and I've got PS3, which is the main kind of like streaming slash that's like TV streaming, sorry, not streaming as in video games. So it's sort of my my streaming device for things like Netflix, Amazon, that kind of stuff. Yeah, the 360 got relegated. I think I did a video on that about the 360 being relegated to the box. But yeah, so SNES is there because I've recently got the SD card. I've just played Terra Enigma again, but on an actual console. That's really nice. The ROM card was cheaper than buying the actual game, which probably just tells you so much about the prices of Terra Enigma these days. Usually a German copy can be found quite cheap, but if you want it in English, whoosh, it's like a good 150 plus now for a copy of Terra Enigma, so it's quite expensive. Enjoyable game. Not a lot of hints about where to go. Even I had to look it up a few times, like where do I go now, even though I played it before. Yeah, great fun. But as you guys know, I do buy like the actual carts. I just take my time buying them. And then yeah, the TurboGrafx, I've only got a few. I got a ROM cart. I've got one of these from the same people. I've got one of these ROM carts as well. So it's one of those crits. Always forget how to say his name. But yeah. So I've got a total of 3 games now on actual Who cards. Is it Who cards? I think that's what they call them. I've got American football. I've got Clax, because I didn't have it on any other console. And what was the other game? Oh, Galaga, which I bought when I got the system, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy an actual game. I can't just buy a ROM cart. So I bought Galaga because I'm a great Galaxian fan, as you may know from all the videos I do of those kind of like games. So yeah, that's the current setup. That's all the ones that was on my old sort of wedge unit. It was taking a bit too much space in my living room, so just had to get rid of it really. And then additionally, you might have noticed that other thing. What the hell is that? What is it? What load of trash is that? It's a Magnavox Odyssey, isn't it? So I recently bought like a bundle of the 1292, the Acetronic cartridges, and I didn't need all of them, but I did replace a lot of my games with those, so I had spares. I actually managed to sell quite a few of them, which is great. I don't try and like skim loads of money off of people, but I probably did make my money back from the bundle, so I got the games I wanted extra. But rather than saying, wow, that's a profit, I should put that in my account and maybe save it or something, I added some more money to it and then bought a Magnavox Odyssey instead. So in America, Odyssey is usually known as the Odyssey 2, which is what we would regard as the Philips video pack. But actually, obviously, the Odyssey 2 comes from somewhere else. It's the Odyssey, and this is it. It's 1972. This is a 75 model, but it's the same console essentially, and it was the famous first console that ever came out. And I've got the base carts. I've got 1 to 6. So there's number 1, which is table tennis. Pong was famously, I would say, nicked the idea from that. There's some controversy about whether they did or not, but I'm pretty sure they did. And it's got all the base games, which is basically like they're basically this table tennis, which I think is the one with the divider, and then there's regular tennis, which doesn't have the divider in the middle, and then there's a game where you can have the divider on the side, and then it bounces off the side. But I think that's another video cart. I think that's handball, which I haven't got. And there's a few others. There's one where you can just have 2 squares, no balls, no divider, and you just sort of go around the screen. Like Simon Says, there's a game that uses that. And there's a third game called Cat and Mouse, which is the same 2 square concept, but when player 1 takes over player 2, it just deletes player 2, and then you have to press reset. Yeah, and then there's one where you shoot a missile, essentially. You shoot a missile from player 1, which is basically the ball, and then if player 2 gets hit by the ball, then it gets destroyed. You know, there's those sort of things. So there's not much variance in those kind of things, but that's just how it works. I did get it boxed. Ta-da! So that's where my doubles money went into. So it just got reinvested back into another console. I'm developing a fan game, if you like. Not a fan game. No, it's not a fan game. It's just homebrew. See, you don't have to think about it then. Called First Fantasy, which sounds like, you know, Final Fantasy. That's basically where I just got the name from. Like, I thought, wow, what's the opposite of Final Fantasy? Well, First Fantasy. So if it's the final one, that's the last. So what's the one at the beginning? It's the First Fantasy. So just as a joke, I called it First Fantasy, and then the tagline of Tales of Odyssey. So I've been playing a lot of Tales of games. Had to double check, make sure there wasn't an Odyssey tagline of Tales of. I don't think there is. So there we go, First Fantasy Tales of Odyssey, which I'm hoping to get downloadable, and I'll probably do a video about it sometime soon on the channel in the near future. Yeah, so it's basically just going to be an RPG, which is like dice rolling and pen and paper, because this is the Odyssey, remember. We're not talking about, you know, Phantasy Star or, you know, actual Final Fantasy 1 or anything like that. Not even like advanced Dungeons and Dragons on the Intellivision. We're not talking that kind of level at all. We're talking like a dungeon maybe, and maybe like a boss screen on the actual Odyssey. So there's that to look forward to. So that's what I've been spending most of my time on recently, other than working. So yeah, that's my setup. It's too big to go in the cube, so it has to go on the top row, which is what the purpose was. I was going to have my sound system, which is one of those sort of cases where it was actually my mum's, and I sort of said, "Hey mum, are you using it? Are you using it?" Which basically translates to, "Can I have it?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can have it." Like, yay! So I used to plug that sound system into my Sega Saturn back when Sega Saturn was a thing, back when you could buy games brand new for it. And it still works a dream. So I've got a few cables, including a USB cable. I've got a cable to go in the TV. I've got a cable to go just general RCA cables. So I've got the wire hanging down, probably can't see it from there, of the PS3. So PS3 goes HDMI into the TV, and then the component cables go, well, the left-right audio goes through into the stereo. So a bit of Wipeout HD on the go sometimes, and then it plays through the system. So yeah, it's pretty handy. I wasn't sure whether we were going to get it on the top there or whether it'd have to go on the shelf, but actually it turns out, because we had to put the TV on the wall, it's actually worked quite nicely. So the TV can come out from the wall, it can jack forward, and then the stereo system's there on the top. So I've got plenty of space to fill. The temptation is just to put the VCR on there, which would make streaming those earlier consoles a lot easier. However, having said that, when I tried to get the Magnavox Odyssey working, the only way I could get it working was through my USB device. That's the same USB device that I thought was broken when my child decided to snap it in half. Well, at least tried to snap it in half. What it actually did is the USB side of the device got disjointed, and it's like, oh dear, what's going on now? Is it going to work? Now I tried it several times since then. I tried to stream like Fairchild Channel F on it, didn't work, so I ended up resorting back to VCR, and then I was just trying to get this Odyssey working, and lo and behold, it just sort of magically worked with the USB device. You know, I tried to get it on the TV, didn't work, didn't get it on the VCR, didn't work, and then I tried the USB device, and then bam, it just worked. Changed the batteries, tried that, it worked. So a bit gutted that my TV don't pick it up, but probably because it's a weak US NTSC signal. I'm pretty sure my TV detects NTSC signals, which is a bit of a pain for me, because I thought I'd be able to plug it in straight away and just get it to tune in, but no luck there. But the good thing is it does work, so I ordered it online, obviously on eBay. I'm just grateful the damn thing works. The console will be 50 years in 2022, so I'm really happy that I managed to get a bit of, you know, gaming history, and one of the last ones I needed out the way. There was a limited release in UK. We're talking a few hundred, maybe, possibly not even that many, conversions to UK power supply, essentially. I think some was released in Europe too. Obviously it's very similar, so it's quite easy, just change the plug end. So yeah, it's an original US version, but because it runs on D batteries, you know, I don't have to have it plugged into the main, so there's no concern of you know, frying anything there, unless someone decides to like plug in something by accident. Please don't do that. But yeah, that's it really. I've got plenty of space. There's a drill still there as well when I tried to drill it into the wall. If anyone's got any ideas about what consoles I should stream in the future, or you know, what I should complement these consoles, just give me a message, because I've got plenty of space at the moment, and as long as you don't say the Jaguar or the AES or anything produced in the last 10 years, basically anything after Wii U and PS3 and 360, then I've got it. And then I can just put it down there, and I could put it down there and we could stream it. You know, I've got a CDI, I've got a 3DO, got Commodore CD TV, and the rest. You know, I can get any console out. So just leave a message if you would like to see what it looks like with different consoles. And that's it really. So the only thing I've really got left is to celebrate getting the whopping 51 subscribers I now have. So I thought, what better way than to get some party poppers, which apparently don't exist in shops anymore. So I got this off of Amazon. Paid £2 for 20, which I reckon at least each subscriber is worth a penny. So that's 50 pence. Now, using my brilliant deduction of maths, I can work out that £2, 10p each. So it's worth 10p. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 150, 200, £2. So they're worth 10p each. So if every subscriber is worth a penny each, that's 5. So you're worth 5 poppers. So I'm just going to open this up. And then we're going to make a mess of my living room. And then I'm going to tidy it up before anyone gets home. So just remember not to aim it in my eye. Let's see if I can get this to work. This is going to be hilarious. Can I do it? This is where it don't work. It's not working. Way! Wow, that's more smoke than I expected. I don't know if that even got caught on the screen. The smoke. I need to like maybe move away from the laptop unless I like set it on fire. It's on the screen, just like there. Yeah. Way. So that's 1. Here's number 2. Yay! Now I don't like poppers. I don't usually go for poppers, so this is like a one-time thing. I will use the rest up at some point. I'm not going to waste them. But I have to get to 150 subscribers, and then I can do the other ones. Hey, that was completely over. That's 3. You're worth 2 more. See if I hold back a bit, maybe it'll. No, it's gone overweight. Right, 1 more. You're worth 1 more. Let's see if I step back a bit, I might be able to. Hey, there we go. That's it. That's all we got. 50p worth of poppers. There we go. And now it's all over my wires. And there's that one that went over there. There we go. So, you know, if you enjoy my videos, thank you very much.